because now with people switching so quickly, now the question of like pensions and in Canada RRSP contribution and all these
Yeah.
different mechanisms for like retirement, that's completely changing too. So have you seen any companies tackle that differently?
Yeah,
Any
so
ways
so
to,
the real, yeah, it's really the biggest inhibitor to the gig economy is actually mortgages. So pensions already
Interesting.
became portable, right? 401ks are now portable.
Yeah.
That went portable, years ago. Healthcare benefits now, you have companies saying you start healthcare on day one. I think there's some statistic like 40% of all US adults are on some sort of government healthcare program anyway. The real challenge to the gig economy really is mortgage. You can make $1 million in your business, right, as a gig, and I can make $50,000 as a W-2 salary, and I'll have an easier time getting a mortgage than you will. Because the banking today, they want to see a W-2 as if a W-2 is the be-all and end-all. That's going to have to change because that's a huge inhibitor to the gig economy. I'll give you another statistic, Scott. 35% of all adults in the US have a side hustle.
Hmm. It's not
Right.
surprising to me at all. Yeah.
Right. So I think what that really tells you is that whatever industry you're in, you need to sort of make sure that you could, I'll use your word, gigify a segment of your business because it's out there. The other thing that we're working on now, even internally, is what I call the 4/5 job, right? In other words, in this goal of work-life balance, when do you shut down? Right? If I send someone an email at 11 o'clock at night, it's not because I'm nuts and crazy. It's because there's something on my head that I want to
Yeah.
email. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have this responsibility to reply at 11 o'clock at night. And the best way to do that is, hey, look, I want to have a 4/5 job. So pay me 80% of a salary, and I'm going to make sure people work Monday, Tuesday, but then decide your schedule Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But this way, you could say, hey, I don't work Thursdays. I don't work Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. I don't work Fridays. And the expectation is that, hey, I don't work Fridays and not I'm going to email you and I expect a response immediately. And things like Slack and all these collaborative tools actually are getting people nervous, right? Because, it used to be that you're at your desk. Now, where are you? How come I could Slack you? So we have the freedom to walk around and the freedom to work wherever we want, but yet at the same time, this sense of responsibility to replying back, synchronously as these things are actually happening. So there's some challenges there as well.
But the 4/5 job is not going to solve for that. That's a psychological issue that people have,
That's
that
purely
managers have to be
psychological.
cognizant of. Yeah, and that's something
Yeah.
that's the huge, and that's why you see all these countries over in Europe that are either trying to stop people from respond or communicating outside of your work hours, or making it or protecting rights by saying like legally you don't have to respond after a
Right.
certain time, right? So that they're almost
Yeah.
like instilling like the psychological safety so that people don't
Psychological
feel. Yeah.
work-life balance. Yeah. No, so
Yeah.
I just think that, look, as a business, being able to attract someone who only wants to work, 4/5 of a job is actually creating a few things. Why? You're giving them that built-in flexibility that maybe other companies won't. So you're paying them less, but I think there's a lot of good things in doing it because you're trying to attract people, right? How do you build a culture, when you're all working remotely? Like, how do you do that? And those are the
I have
things
no
that,
idea.
like,
It's
we
very
struggle.
hard.
Yeah,
It's very,
yeah, no,
very
I
hard.
agree. I agree. I was with another global head of talent, and he said to me, Evan, here's the challenge. My office, if I left the company, my office didn't change. My right. This is right now. I'm in a virtual office,
We work.
but my
Yeah.
office doesn't change. I work from my
Yeah.
home. So if I left the company, it's not like I'm leaving friends. It's not like I'm leaving the restaurant down the corner or the best coffee or the best muffin. Right? My home office isn't changing. My last name is, my email address is changing, but the rest doesn't change. So it makes it just so easy. I had a job that I stayed in probably 6 months longer than I wanted to because it was just the commute was 7.5 minutes from my home. But who would do that now? Right? Who would do that?
Yeah.
I also had a company that they wanted me to move to Atlanta and I had to leave. They wanted me to move. again, that these are all things that just wouldn't happen in 2022.
Very good. No, it's very interesting to just see, and I think that maybe your comment on this as well, but COVID just moved things along quicker. But like we were already going in this direction anyways. It was just like it was just a massive accelerator.
That's right. Do you remember? Again, I'll say 5 years. 5 years ago, we were talking about the efficacy of remote work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
5 years ago. Oh, I don't know. We don't allow it. We're vehemently opposed to remote work. All these things are like, we were talking about that 5 years ago. And now it's like, do I make you even come in? Do I make you come in maybe one day a week? Like, how do I do that to make it meaningful? Like, we don't want to have Zoom day. So come in and it's pretty incredible that's really happened.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I want to do a couple of rapid fire. But before I pivot, closing thoughts on future of work, future of talent, recruiting, and where you think the industry is going to go, what you're working on with recruiting.com in the future, recruiter.com in the future. And then I also want to get from you like websites, socials, all that stuff, so you can go check it out.
Sure. So look, more money will be invested in hiring talent in 22 than ever before, as the tightness of the labor market, the increase in hourly wages, the flexibility of the working environment, the ease of applying for jobs online, employees' desire for new experiences and work-life balance, and this emergence of this job hopper economy. And as I mentioned before, we estimate that the U.S. will be investing more than $50 billion in 22 over the amount spent in 2019 just to hire talent.